Ajid Soto was the one that ICE picked up early this year in the last couple. I don't know when the raid exactly was, but it was recent. And he was picked up, and he had a record already. And I don't know how long he's been working on this farm, but he definitely was working there at least 3 days before news broke in December of 2021, when this was reported in the news out there in East Idaho. An Idaho Falls man arrested, reportedly admitted to choking a woman. An Idaho Falls man was arrested after he reportedly admitted to sheriff deputies that he choked a woman in November. According to the probable cause affidavit, Sajid Soto, 39, attacked the victim after the two had an argument. The victim said Soto pushed her and then put his hands around her neck and choked her. She was unsure how long the choking lasted, and after the incident, Soto reportedly left and drove to Dubois. Soto originally denied that an argument had taken place, and during questioning by the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office, however, he reportedly admitted that there was an argument and that he got angry. He was charged with attempted strangulation, punishable up to 15 years in prison. There was also an enhancement added for domestic battery or assault in the presence of a child, which could have doubled the penalty to 30 years in prison. And then there was a no contact order issued between Soto and the victim. So he choked this woman in front of a child. He choked this woman in front of the child while he was under the employment of Stephanie Jo Mickelsen. And then apparently he served time, and it was very short because that was in 2021, and that's only 4 years ago. We're not actually, we just hit 25. That happened in December of 21. So here we are. And here's the report from Investigate West. Investigate West is the one that initially broke this story. And buried at the bottom of the article is this. In November 22, the Mickelsen Farms employee, Sajid Soto, had previously been charged with battery and drug possession. According to the Bonneville County Sheriff's Department, he admitted to choking his wife. So it turns out that the woman that he choked was his wife during an argument. And then while being booked in the local jail, officers found a tiny amount of methamphetamine in his wallet. So he's a meth addict too. Or a dealer. Even a migrant with permanent resident status can lose that status as a consequence of domestic violence conviction. So even if you're here legally, folks, you can lose that. Let's do a side by side with me on this, because I'm going to continue to read this. But folks, I want you to understand the facts here. If you are here legally, you can lose your status for this charge of what happened. But let's continue here, right? Sotos has served his jail time and the restraining order had been lifted, and his felony possession conviction, which can cause a temporary agricultural visa to be revoked, had been dismissed after the farm worker completed probation. So he got a sweet deal. After choking his wife in front of a minor, maybe his own children. Now you have, and then here's what Mickelsen said. Oh, now you have 3 children that are American citizens that are entitled to Social Security benefits because their dad was supporting them, and he won't be any longer because ICE picked him up on my farm because she continued to employ him even after he went to jail. Folks, would you want someone like that's continuously working for you? Is that who she wants to continually work for her? A violent, illegal alien? But if you don't take a vaccine, she doesn't want you to work on her farm. Maybe that's it, right? Is that why she's so against the Medical Freedom Act? Let's finish out the story here. Works at Mickelsen Farms remains on the dad's Facebook page. If you scroll down, his cover photo is from 6 years ago, taken through the rain-flecked windshields of the truck. And it shows a long row of green and gold John Deere tractors and combines lined up on a stretch of farm soil. And it says, listos para sacar papas, ready to pull out potatoes. So he's been working in the potato fields for a long time and working for Miss Mickelsen. Somebody who chokes his wife and keeps methamphetamine at the ready. Is this okay, folks? Because there's a lot of folks I hear out in East Idaho that are throwing shade on Miss Mickelsen. That violent attack happened while he was working on her farm. He went and served jail time, and then he was welcomed back with open arms. I don't understand why there's not enough outrage out there. You see a bunch of leftists, they travel miles and miles and miles to show up to a Tesla dealership in Meridian to protest what they think is their beef with Elon Musk. But is anyone in East Idaho going to rise up against this? She's putting your community at risk. She continued to employ this person. I'm not breaking new news. All you got to do is read. This isn't conspiracy. All you got to do is read the articles. All you got to do is figure out the timeline. And everybody's out there, oh, she's a victim. She got attacked. Oh my God, they're going after her because they don't like her policies. Well, her policies suck. She still wants to not have this Medical Freedom Act go through. We just went through what she does in the legislature, what her arguments are. Are you kidding me? Come on, folks. We can't all be everywhere at once, right? But we can make noise, and we need to continue to make noise. And if you're a legislature, and if you're in the House of Representatives right now, that's the timeline. Those are the facts. You want this person continuously in your midst? I don't know why she's not brought up on charges. There's got to be some sort of crime here. How can you harbor an illegal criminal alien after you already know who they are? How do you do this? How does it happen? And no one wants to talk about it. The mainstream news is out there talking about how it was Ryan Spoon tipped off the ice because he doesn't like Stephanie Jo Mickelsen. Well, maybe he doesn't like Stephanie Jo Mickelsen for the same reason I don't like Stephanie Jo Mickelsen, because she hires criminal, wife-beating, drug-addicted, illegal aliens on her farm. She may very well be a nice person. She may very well be just a fantastic dinner guest. She may throw great parties on her ranch. She's probably a great grandmother. She's so loving, but she's got horrible judgment. And that's why I don't like her. I don't like her policies. I don't like her judgment. I don't like her decisions. And she does all this, folks. She does all this because she says, well, no one else is going to work here. No one else is going to work here. Well, you're a legislator. Why don't you go into the legislature and run a launch grant program that entices people to work on a farm, to work in agriculture, Idahoans to work in agriculture? Why don't you do that? Remember those they still make them. The U.S. Army will make these, and the Marines, they'll make these videos that show how awesome it is to be a Marine, right? And we love our Marines. We love our military. But holy hell, you're putting your life on the line. You're signing up to die. And if they can make a video, if they can make a commercial that entices people to sign away your life to go die for your country and make it look awesome, I'm sure somebody out there can make working on an agricultural farm awesome. Right? You're feeding America. You're feeding Idaho. I'm sure somebody out there can make an awesome video, a propaganda video that shows how great it is to work on a farm, to get your hands dirty and work in the fields, or to work in the processing center and have camaraderie with your workers and get great benefits from the owners. Don't talk to me about this is talk to me about saying, these are jobs nobody wants to do. Well, if you're a wife-beating, drug-addicted criminal alien, it certainly is a job that you want to do. Will no one call her out who's in a position of power? Where are you, House of Representatives? I remember a couple years ago, a sitting legislator shared a news link. She shared a news link that was an article that supposedly outed and said the name of the victim of a sex crime. And because of that, she was dragged through a tribunal in the House because she shared a link of a news article that named the victim of a sex crime. And you can agree or disagree on whether or not that was the right thing to do, but it happened. And here we have a legislator who knowingly, it made news, folks. It made the news in East Idaho that he was arrested for choking a woman and went to jail. And the Bonneville County Sheriff knew all about it. And then when he got out of jail, he went back to work at Mickelsen Farms. He went back to work. Atrocious. There he is. That's the photo. That photo was on his Facebook. Taken 3 days. Taken 3 days before he was arrested in 2021 for choking his wife. Working on the farm. Sajid Soto. Sahid is Spanish, right? The J is silent. All right, folks. Things are not good in East Idaho.